All right. Hey, folks, good morning. We're going to do some artwork today. It's our Saturday morning workshop. So we're going to work on continuing to convert Light of Xaryxis using the new Spelljammer combat and exploration system that we've been developing and illustrating here on stream for the past year. Give me a second here to check my signal, make sure I'm up and running. I'll go through my intro, and then we'll get to work here for a little while. So let's see. Mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 3. So let's see. Yeah, it sounds like I'm going to do okay. Cool. So we're going to drop this onto the Reddits and the Discords and the Twitters and roll in to production. So let me... I feel out of breath. I don't know why. It's not like I've been running around trying to get my shit set up and running before the stream, but here I am, right? Hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games. I illustrate them. I publish online, and I've been focusing on Dungeons and Dragons since the release of Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica back. I think it was in 2017 that the book was released. You can see. One second. Right. There's a slew of content that I've published on DMsGuild.com that is listed down below, including the color mana spell point variant rules that I created because Ravnica didn't have color magic in it. So that's what spurred me on to create the works and continue going with Spelljammer. Hey, big shout out to the Spelljammer Preservation Society, our Spelljammer, for being so enthusiastic about the stuff that we're building here. So a big shout out to you guys. I'm on Twitter, X, if you're on the X platform. You can follow me at Phil Kearney if you wish. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notification of when I'm live in the future. We have more subscribers than yesterday. God bless you folks for being interested in the stuff that we're doing here. Here's the full playlist to all the content that we've been making since August 2022 when we first cracked open the book and started chewing through it, realizing that this is something that we could build a more 5e style of combat system for the book. We made this book cover back around episode 40, so you can jump into the full playlist back to episode 40 to see us creating... No, it was episode 15 that we created this book cover. Prior to that, we were looking through the mechanics and making sure that this thing would fly, and it does. So, like I said, I build role-playing games, and I illustrate them, and then I publish online. So... first thing to do is recognize an idea, and I wanted to have 5e combat for ships, as though like you're riding like if you're riding on the back of a dragon or a horse or something like that. I wanted to have the same style of combat for ships because that's the way that I envision it. So we play test the thing. It works. We then hire an editor. Ukulele Bard was my technical developer to help me make sure all the math works properly. So thanks a lot, Joseph. You're fantastic, man. We hired Adam Hancock to help us with editing the book to make sure that the words sound good. And once that was all finished, all the play testing was done, and the manuscript gets handed back to us. We then hash out all the information into page-by-page information, and then all these gaps that we have and spots that we have here are where illustrations, maps, and various diagrams go. And so once all that stuff is done, we can publish the book. But right now, where are we at? We're in Act 2. Oh, yeah, that's right. We're doing Act 2. I'm going to work from the back forward. So we did the Chaos and Doom space. We did that last week, and as you can see, the document's sitting pretty here on the page. See, this is what happens when we fill in the gap there and drop in tokens into the places that they're supposed to be. So we're going to do that same thing with Act 2. So let's slide this out of the way. And you can see here, look, a princess. Look, a princess. So this is where our gap is at. So what we're going to do is we're going to start filling in the gaps. So let's get started. We got a little bit more than an hour for us to play this. No, we got an hour. Oh my God, we got an hour and a half to play. That's awesome. Technically 100 minutes. Let's go. So let's see. First thing I want to do, thirst thing, is we're going to drop in tokens You can see here we've built spots that we can nestle the tokens that we had created. We have a document here of various tokens that we had created previously, and as you can see, this is where Vokath the Mercane came from, and you can see we have him sitting in here a little. There we go. Perfect. So these little spots exist for us to be able to do that. So we're going to slide back. See, we've got a similar spot there. So we can close that off and collapse it. And we have a Dolly token here that we can. These are all tokens that we've built to fit throughout the Light of Xaryxis conversion guide that we have. These are all the different NPCs and creatures that you'll encounter during ship combats throughout the course of the conversion. So I wanted to make sure that we provided these things for folks to look at. Topola, her auto-gnome minions. We'll get to her. Right now we're going to work our way back forward, just because that's less technical. I'll probably end up spending the weekdays. I stream Monday through Saturday. Like, this is a workbench day. I'll work on anything, and today it's Light of Xaryxis. But next week, on Monday when we're back on board, I'll probably be building out like the map assets and stuff that belong in this section of the adventure. So if you want to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon, you'll get notification of when I'm back on task with that. And here is where she is sitting, and that is much smaller than I need. So let's see if I can glam it up without disrupting the... I feel a little crowded there. Let's drop that down a bit. Create some separation. There. This is at the end of Garganhale's, the battle with Garganhale. Hold on, let's take that and drop it down into here. We'll call this TXT. Save it, lock that down as a dolly. We can merge that group. Merge. I think it fits properly. Okay, so this is the battle with Garganhale where you acquire the prince. Massive spoiler alerts for anyone that doesn't know Light of Xaryxis and has intentions of playing in it. You're gonna learn everything here. If you're a DM that wants to run Light of Xaryxis, you should pick this up. It should be publishing in the next week or so. And it'll have all these tokens in it that you can drop into VTT. It also has black and white versions. Check this out. If you want to make this print friendly, see, black and white version. Whoa. There you go. Let's see. Huh? How the hell did that get in there? That's not complete. Look, a princess. So, crew, vampirates, agony, rootledge win, agony, vampirates. Oh, that's weird. Let's see. I thought I had this section done, but we have, okay, so we have crew, 11 second vampirates, and ogre zombie, 3 vampirates, crew each, ballista, 5 crew of the mangonel. We need to revise this real quick, so let's go in here and go with, does the ogre zombie have a name? This is an unexpected turn of events and a welcome opportunity to work through the flow process that we do. So let's go to sources and plain Spelljammer and Light of Xaryxis, Chaos and Doomspace. No, Mutiny. Here we go. Giving chase, aboard the second wind, flying to the last breath, Agony the Ghost. Let's see, Stern Castle, Vampirates. Is there anyone important other than... I don't think there's anyone else. Agony, Root Ledge, Second Wind. Okay, Garganhail. Firing on the last breath, he'd rather you not. 6 Vampirates, Ogre Zombie, CR2, so that's 85. Second, 85. Ogre Zombie. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There. Let's see, how do I want to do this? There we go. That lines up, that lines up. Cool, okay, so let's see. Does the Ogre Zombie have a name? No. So we should probably, let's see, suggested actions. Obeys the commands of the Where's the ship? Let's see. If ordered, if commanded to assist with firing siege weapons due to its size, it counts as 2 crew members to determine the number, determine how many there we go, we'll do it like that. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If commanded to assist with firing some. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. It counts as true crew. Due to its size. There we go. Due to its size. Due to its size, when determining the number of crew determining the number of crew in the number of creatures in the siege crew, it counts as 2 crew members. Otherwise, it will attack any the nearest creature that is not a vampire. Though if Gargan let's see, if Gargan Hail, let's do it like this, 1, 2, 3. Let's see, otherwise it will attack, is it whomever? It will attack whomever Routledge commands. There we go. That's the way to do this. And we still lined up here? Holy shit, we are. That's... All right, this is looking good. Tikunk, tikatunk, tikatunk. Good. Damn. If commanded to assist with firing siege weapons due to its size, when determining the number of crew in the suit, it counts as 2 crew members. Let's see. Otherwise, let's see. If commanded to assist with firing siege weapons, it counts. It counts as 2 creatures when determining the number. Thank you, Timely Timer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When determining the number of creatures in the siege crew. Period. Otherwise, it will attack as, there we go. Otherwise, it will attack as Routledge commands from 2, 3, 4. There we go. Otherwise, Routledge will command the from the helm to attack while supporting the battle from the helm. Then delete. Bam! Now it lines up. Very nice. So let's see. If commanded to assist with firing siege weapons, it counts as 2 creatures when determining the number of. It counts as 2 creatures when determining the number of siege crew. Number of siege crew. Let's see. If commanded to assist with firing siege weapons, it counts as 2 creatures when determining the number of siege crew under at while it is let's see, how do I want to word that? Let's look at Root Ledge again real quick. Root Ledge suffered inertia shock trying to jump out of the storm towards the astral sea. Before the characters can locate the ghost ship, but failed the Constitution saving throw. The helm, let's see. The helm will be disabled until the effect wears off next. If the characters board the ship before Root Ledge regains focus, the mage supports from the spell jamming helm on the bridge, period. There we go. Command the undead to attack while supporting the battle from the bridge. If commanded to assist with firing siege weapons, it counts as 2 creatures when determining the number of. That doesn't feel right. If commanded to assist with firing siege weapons, it counts as 2 creatures. If commanded to assist with firing siege weapons, it counts as 2 creatures when determining the number of siege crew under command. There we go. There. Thank you. That was more difficult than I anticipated, but this is a blessing in disguise because we get to clean up the page here. And that all looks good. And then good. Good. Okay, cool. So which page is this? This is page 98. So let's show you how we do this. We delete, escape, page 98. So we'll go to File, Export as a PDF, Interior Pages, Locks. We'll go page 98. We'll go with Options. We go to Current Page Only, Document Only without properties or markup. And then we publish. One page will pop out as a PDF. Bam. There we go. We quickly go back here to undo, removing the background because that's really important to keep that in place. We hit save so that the modifications that we made are locked in. We close this out. We go back to our documents. We drop to here. We're currently on page 98, so I'm going to conceal the text Here we're going to File, Open, page 98. Click on it as a PDF. It pops open. We then select all text. Select all text. And then we paste into place. Why aren't you pasting into place? Copy. Why aren't you're still not doing it? Copy. All right, let's, I guess, try that again. This is weird. Why isn't it copying? Copy, paste. Edit. Why isn't it letting me copy? What is copy merged? All right, let's close out of that. Let's try this again. Page 98. Open. Copy. There we go. That was fucking weird. There. See, it automatically pastes into place when we hit the Control Shift V is paste in place as opposed to Control V is paste into document. And now you can see that the adjustments that we made to the text have been enacted, I guess is the right word. There we go. And then we go text, and then we lock that down. We still have the dollies sitting pretty on the page. Good job, gal. We're going to actually nudge that up a touch so she fills the space well. I like how that fits. So that means I probably want to, let's take this and let's retransform. I know she's not the prettiest thing, but that's the curse of royalty, yo. There's a vampire. What's up, guy? I'll get to you in a minute. So we're going to duplicate this layer. And we're going to drop it into locks. We're going to, fuck it. Let's just grab all these guys. One, two, three. We're going to duplicate these layers as well and pull them into locks. There we go. Got a stack of NPCs over here to distribute. Let's check you out. Let's make sure we're on point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How big are you actually? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Touch. Here we go. Hey Cash, how you doing? We're making things sit pretty. So let's take this pile we have over here and make sure let's get that vampirate and rootledge. Let's make them a little taller so we have some uniformity and shape. That. Then let's take the ogre to the front. These are all tokens that are included in the book. There'll be a zip file with the when you download the when you purchase the document on DMsGuild and you download it, all these tokens are included. So we're going to merge this group and then merge this group and then merge this group and then merge this group, and there we go. So now that we have all these guys properly set to each other's size, let's go down here and make sure they're the right height. So transform 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They need to be one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There. That is the correct size. So we can leave the ogre zombie there. We can take the vampirates, drop them down here. And then we can take the ghost and root ledge and bring them up here. Then we can take root ledge and bring her up here. How are you kids sitting? There, and then we'll take ogre zombie, agony. Okay, so here's some cool stuff to think about with Light of Xaryxis is that or rather, I guess the way that we build these, the way that we built these mechanics is that so the ghost agony, she possesses the ship that Garganhale is asking the team to help him recover. And since she's a ghost and she possesses the ship, she can act as, she is considered to always be occupying the space and focused on the spelljamming helm. So she can pilot the ship anytime that the ghost wants. So the ghost can act as a combatant to use melee attacks with the ship. The ship doesn't have any built-in weapon, any melee weapons. It's just a galleon. But she could ram into something if she's willing to deal damage to the ship as herself. But they have, we have Rootledge Wynn specifically is the pilot of the ship, and she is a mage, so she can cast spells through the helm to target anybody that's on board the ship. That's one of the cool things. And I talked about this. I talked about this in one of my videos on Sundays. Now I'll have another one tomorrow. But one of the cool things about being focused in the spelljamming helm and whatever that helm is attached to, you can basically it basically infuse your life force through that ship or that structure, so it becomes sort of a living object through you. And so you can see anywhere where the ship could see as though you were a creature, but you can also see anywhere inside of it. And you can target with spells anything inside of the ship. So a spellcasting pilot in a sealed helm at the bridge, if you lock down the bridge, the pilot can cast spells through the helm to target anybody inside of the ship that she can see. So as long as you're not invisible aboard her ship, she could hit you with magic missiles literally from anywhere. So like she could have a perspective of up from underneath the deck and shoot you in the ass if she wants, or she could drop a cone of cold on the top of the deck from literally any vantage point that she wants. So piloting spell casting pilots are incredibly dangerous. When you're boarding their ship, you are sieging a wizard, and they have complete targeting ability on you, and they have complete cover until you can get on board into the bridge. So Agony as a ghost can possess objects, and she can then possess the ship itself, and also be able to target anybody that's aboard the ship. And ghosts are really fucking dangerous. So let's go back up here to look at the ghost. Horrifying visage. Each non-creature within 60 feet of the ghost, I can see it. See, the ghost has to expose itself to be targeted for attack, and it can, of course, possess the ship. But it can use Withering Touch. No, it can't because it doesn't have a physical form. Let's see. The possession lasts. Bop, bop, bop. Bop, bop, bop. Ethereal Sight and Corporeal Movement. Never mind. I take it back. She's not dangerous at all. But she, until you get to the helm and fight with her. But she, during the course of this, she will leave Rutledge in charge of flying the ship, and she will go into the fray to help defend the pilots, the crew aboard the deck, because the Horrifying Visage is a good debuff effect that can frighten targets to chase them away. But she could dip into deck and then bond with the ship at any time to help pilot it again. And Rutledge, the mage, let's see what spells that she has available to her. Agony of the Ghost. Where are you at? Come on, gal. Agony of the Ghost. Don't embarrass me in front of my friends. I know it's around here somewhere. Where are you, gal? Rutledge. There she is. So, let's see. At will, she can cast... Wow. Well, she can cast Hypnotic Patterns from anywhere on deck. That's useful. Charms the targets. Ray of Cold. She can hit you with a Ray of Cold from anywhere on deck. Range spell attack. Energy Drain. She can do that from anywhere on the ship while she's on the helm. She doesn't need to Spider Climb. Explode. And, if of course, if you reduce to 0, she'll explode. That's fine. But yeah, I think the two biggest risks from her is the Ray of Cold, Energy Drain, and Hypnotic Pattern. Those are like the big... and there's also Darkness that she can use against targets. The Ogre won't be affected by that. And she can Dimension Door away if she needs to. So, nasty little pilot to fight against. Let's see. Let's go back up to the document here and make sure I am making reference to that. Casting spells and using the Energy Drain and Ray of Cold. Let's see. They supports the vampires from the Spelljamming helm on the bridge, casting spells and using the Energy Drain. Using both the Energy Drain and Cold, Ray of Cold. That feels good. Counts as 2 weapons. The characters board the ship. 3 pirates use attacks to fire harpoon flingers at the characters each round. Join combat. Join combat. Period. Period. There we go. That cleaned that up. Now I gotta redo the page. So let's select here again. Delete. And then export. This is the glory and exotic world of page editing and layout design. So this is where the rubber really meets the road for folks. And if you really want to get into building PDFs for role-playing games, you can expect to do a lot of this type of activity unless you hire somebody to do it for you. Yes, let's please replace that. Pop open a PDF. Thank you. Undo to get our background back. Hard save real quick to make sure that nothing goes awry. Drop back down here to the text to remove the block. Conceal, file, open, 98, pop open the PDF, select all, copy, paste into place, perfect, TXT, lockdown, there we go. All right, everything's looking real good over here. We'll take the, let's see, we'll take the ogre, zombie, vampire, and ghost. Drop them back down to their proper position. But is that the proper position? It seems to be. The vampire sits really nicely in that space. So that's telling me it's properly. Damn it. Let's try that again. Bring that all down. Click into place. Perfect. And then we don't need the dolly. We want here. I generally, as a rule, have characters and whoever, if there's a face or if there's a direction, like a direction of travel or the direction that somebody is looking, I generally have them looking towards the middle of the page. So, like you can see all the Routledge, Agony, the zombie, and the vampires, they're all facing towards the middle of the page here, the central column. And I flipped the token here for Princess Adali. I bet you wish you were a prettier kid. And she's also facing towards the middle column as well. So these are all fitting into place pretty nicely. That ogre is a little high. I want the bottom edge here to line up the bottom edge of the text. That's generally how I'm placing these things. It creates a nice little buffer to separate the bottom of the token from the text environment. But these spaces that we created for these things to fit in, it's ending up serving us pretty well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then that's 9. But I like how he sits better on that space. How's she sitting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nah, I think we're okay like this. Yeah, I like that. Okay, cool. Hit save. We can move on to the next page. Something with noting here. Okay, so the goal of this adventure of this challenge in Locks is to get Garganhale to help your team, and you get the team. Garganhale is willing to help the team by getting his ship back. So you have to win it back from Routledge and Agony, who instigated the mutiny, and then the ogre and ogre zombie, of course, is just following directions, and then the crew of vampirates are also following directions. And spoiler alerts: the Princess Adali is stuck in the brig below deck on the ship. So the way that it works is that the team is supposed to catch up to the ship, board the deck, attack the pirates, clear them all out, either push them off the boat, have walk the plank, or kill them all to get rid of them. And then you either have to somehow purge Agony from it or to get her to be on board and help you. So the reason they're angry in the first place is that Garganhale has demonstrated a lack of competency as a commander in the getting his fleet destroyed. And this is the only ship that remains. So like, you're bad news, you're going to get us killed. But if he's joining your team as part of a larger fleet, then that's an opportunity for you to quell potentially Routledge and Agony's. But you want to get Agony back on board with you because she possesses the ship. That's a really useful function. So get her back on board, otherwise purge her. And but if the ship gets away, if the team botches up recapturing the ship, or if the DM doesn't scope the encounter to facilitate them getting a hold of it, then the ship could escape, and then the princess stays aboard the brig, and you don't get her. You lose her, but she's a vital component to the adventure for her to exit the ship. So the way that I dummy proof the system here is, if they succeed, they'll just find her in the brig. If the characters fail, so the way that we set this up here, I'm talking in circles here real quick, but let's see. Where is it at? Mutiny. Conducting the encounter. Here we go. The second wind was destroyed earlier. If the second wind was destroyed earlier in the adventure, the characters can replace the ship with the salvaged space galleon detailed above. Skip past the shipless pursuit in LOX and proceed to aboard the second wind below and the following changes. So there's when you find the ship, it's amongst wreckage from a battle between Star Moths and what was Garganhale's fleet. And we have here. I guess I'll just show you here. We built a quick and easy salvage skill challenge. So when the characters arrive at the destroyed fleet, the DM can allow characters to make an intelligence investigation check to salvage equipment and supplies from the wreckage. The results are listed below. DC 7, you can 1 season worth of poor lifestyle supplies for 10 crew. DC 10 is 5 tons of scattered stone and bolt ammunition. We describe a tonnage of ammunition in the combat chapter above. Now, if you roll a DC 13, then you can get 2 mangonels and 3 ballistae to add to your ship's weapons if you have the crew to man them. And then on a check of 16 or above, 1 major helm with an orrery attached. In addition, if the characters lost the second wind in the Rieger challenge above, 1 space galleon can be salvaged. See the description of the Moondancer above for what a space galleon does. The vessel requires at least 1 hit point of mending over 8 hours before it can fly again. There's a mending spell. The mending cantrip, we allow you to use it as a ritual that takes 8 hours for you to reconstruct hit points for up to a 50-foot space of ship. So the living ship, the second breath, is a 2x2 vessel. So it would take 8 hours to process hit point repair for that entire ship. And there's a number of hit points that you can recover per 8-hour period. And if you have 2 people that can cast the mending spell, since the living ship is a 2x2 vessel, you could have 2 people working in tandem together to perform the ritual. You can only have 1 ritual per 50 feet of space per ship. So otherwise, the will-o-wisp, there's a will-o-wisp that flits around the wreckage that can lead the characters to the Grave Alliance. So the last breath, this section is unchanged. The cosmic storm, there's a storm that's rolling in that encompasses the fleet, the wrecked fleet, the last breath, and whatever ship it is that the characters are aboard at this point. And it occupies a 100,000 mile space, which means it would take potentially 1 minute to be able to traverse it if you're flying at your maximum speed. Otherwise, you can slow to any point to engage in combat. It's distracting, so concentration and focus checks within the storm are ruled with. There's different features here. I'll show you. There's different features that a wild storm system, a wild storm has different properties. Is the words I'm trying to use here. So let me scroll up to the hazards section of the book, so you guys can see what those hazards are. Wild storms. So the size of the storm, the amount of time it takes to reroute around a storm if you notice it before you're in it. You're flying so fast, and these storms can be really small. So if you're flying along at 100 million miles per day, you could encounter a storm and realize that you're in it before you actually have a chance to respond to it, and thus you get engulfed inside of it. Or if you notice it before you arrive at it, you can choose to avoid the storm by, and here's the amount of time that it takes for you to reroute around a storm. If you're doing a hex crawl or like a point crawl campaign in Wild Space, you need to know how long does it take to get around things. So this provides you, depending on the size of the storm, D12 plus 4 times 10 million miles. This could be up to 500 million miles in size, right? Which would be a 5-day storm, potentially. So it takes, depending on how far away you see it, it would be, and it's real, as you can see, it's real easy to see a storm of this size. So you'll see it coming, and you'll have an opportunity to route around it. And if you fail, you're going to get pulled inside of it. Rerouting, failure distance is how far into the storm you are if you don't see it before it arrives. And then creatures and objects that can be encountered within or near the storm. Here's a D roll. Air elementals, drifting autognome soldiers with orders to attack any ship. Ghost haunting the storm, waiting for its ship lost within to be freed. 2d4 methods, ash or smoke, curious about new visitors. D4 murder comets, setting an ambush. Scabbers looking for a meal. Undead pirates seeking new crew and ships. Skeletons of pirates. Ship graveyard of D4 ships with D4 hit points each. Asteroid field occupying D10 squares, 1 square smaller than the storm. And then roll again, duplicate results, accumulate. And then there's no encounters 11 through 20. And so here are the different effects of a Wild Space storm. It could be abrasive, distracting, freezing, lightning, poisonous, or you can roll twice and ignore duplicate results. So abrasive, while traversing the storm, reduce the maximum speed by a magnitude of 10 to a minimum of 5-foot scale. Or the ship's siege weapons and any crew on deck takes D6 times 10 slashing damage each round. So, like, if you notice a storm and you don't pick up on it before you dive into it, then you're going to find yourself inside of it. If it's an abrasive storm, it's going to force you to slow down. Again, it says here, reduce maximum speed to a magnitude by 10, which means at most you can move a ship, instead of 100 million miles per day, can at most move 10 million miles per day. And so if you run across a Wild Space storm that's 100 million miles in size and your speed is reduced to 10 million miles per day, it's going to take you 10 days to get the fuck out of that storm. So that really sucks. And if you choose not to, then this is the amount of damage that you're going to take each round of flying at a speed faster than you should. It's abrasive. So the speed that you're moving is causing you to deal damage to yourself. Distracting, while traversing the storm, checks to maintain concentration and focus are made with disadvantage. If in the astral sea, add 1d6 days to the travel time to reach the destination, because the way that you get from one destination to another is by maintaining focus on the location that you intend. So a distracting storm prevents you from doing that. Freezing, while traversing through and rerouting to avoid the storm. Piloting attack rolls are made with disadvantage. Lightning, when first encountered, and once every 10 minutes while traversing through the storm, there's a 2% chance for each 10 feet of space a ship occupies that the ship is struck by lightning, dealing 1d4 times 10 lightning damage to the ship. For example, a 250-foot hammerhead ship has a 50% chance per hour of being struck, while a 20-foot skiff, a little fighter craft, only has a 4% chance because it's so small. So if your character is drifting through there, you basically have a 1%. A 5-foot character has a 2% for every 10 feet. That means there's a 1% chance, because a 5-foot space is half of 2%. There's a 1% chance that if your character is adrift in that storm independently, just like using a fly spell, flying by themselves, there's a 1% chance per hour that they're going to get hit by lightning, because they're absolutely tiny. Poisonous, when first entering the storm, and once at the beginning of each hour thereafter while traveling within, the pilot must make a Constitution saving throw to prevent the storm from fouling the ship's air supply. Storm scale, here is the DC. If the ship's air is already fouled, the storm has no effect, and a ship with deadly air automatically improves the quality to foul. So it takes it from being deadly to foul, actually, because there's air. A deadly air envelope has no air left. It is deadly. It is killing you. So any air, even if it's poisonous air, is at least something you can breathe. So if you had to, you could dive into this to recover your air supply if it was necessary. So we can hit save there. That's good that we go through these things. I keep going over these pages over and over and over again, and it is always rewarding to do so, because if we find any glitches, we can fix them. We'll line those up. See now, oops, it's just a little off. Normally you guys don't see me doing this type of stuff, but it's Workbench Saturday. We can do anything. There. Now we have these lining up, so it looks pretty. Now we have a nice little gap here that matches the gap here. French kiss. I'm going to hit save to keep that in mind. Okay, so that's what the storm is, right? So those are just some basic storm mechanics. Last breath. There we go. So the cosmic storm enveloping the fleet wreckage occupies a 100,000 mile space and possesses the distracting and lightning properties. So distracting, concentration, and focus checks within the storm are rolled at disadvantage. And lightning, once per 10 minutes, there is a chance to be struck by lightning, dealing 1d4 times 10 lightning damage. So keeping that in mind. Wrong direction. Here we go. Burp, burp. Conducting the encounter. Aboard. Okay, here we go. The storm. The last breath attempts to evade attack by diving into the storm. Upon entering the storm, and every 10 minutes thereafter, there is a chance a ship is struck by lightning, taking d4 times 10 lightning damage. The last breath has a 26% chance of being struck because it is a 130-foot long vessel. The second wind has a 16% chance of being struck by lightning because it is 80 feet in size. And if the characters salvage the space galleon as detailed above in the Garganhale's fleet section above, the vessel has a 26% chance of being struck because it is also a galleon of 130 feet. Any jolly boat in use has a 4% chance of being struck because it's only 20 feet long. And characters can scan for the hidden ship with an orrery station, DC 22. If successful, the ship is d4 times 100 miles ahead. If the check fails, a flash of lightning silhouettes the ship only d6 times 10 miles ahead. The lightning strike disrupts the pilot's focus, giving the characters a chance to roll initiative. Because when you get hit by lightning, the captain has to make a focus check because they take damage. Unless they just let the ship take all the damage. But the ship can't take all the damage because it's already completely wrecked. So if it takes a hit like this, it could outright just destroy the ship. So the pilot has to take the damage, at least some of it. And that is going to force the pilot to make a Constitution saving throw, which causes the pilot, when they fail, let's see, the last breath only has 70 hit points remaining from the previous battle with elves and being struck by lightning. So this sets up that the ship has very few hit points. The pilot gets hit. Beep. Let's see. Garganhale would prefer the characters not fire on the ship, instead suggesting they close distance to scuttle its gravity, then board it. So before the characters act, the Van Pirate Mangonel's siege crew launches the kegs of alchemist fire described in Area 13 of the galleon map provided in Locks, but the gunpowder detonates early, dealing an additional 50 thunder damage to the back of the ship, and the ship only has 70 hit points. So now the ship only has 20 hit points. All creatures other than, if the character's close distance, as Grimzod suggests, whoever is piloting can use an action to scuttle the vessel while its helm is disabled. All creatures other than Agony take 10 or 3d6 bludgeoning damage as the gravity field is violently shifted. The characters can then board the vessel to attack. So when you scuttle a ship, you're basically, it's like a trip maneuver. So if you hit a ship if you're in combat and the ship is defending itself against you, you have to make an attack roll, and if you succeed, you can use a bonus action to scuttle the craft. And scuttling causes you to wobble its gravity field, which makes everyone on board the ship take falling damage equal to the number of 50-foot spaces that the ship occupies. So a galleon ship that occupies 3 spaces is 130 feet long. So it's more than 100 feet, but less than 150. So that's 3 spaces that the ship occupies at the 50-foot scale of 3 by 3, 150 feet. And since it's 3 50-foot squares, if you scuttle the gravity field, then they take bludgeoning damage, 3d6 bludgeoning damage. You can use a reaction to brace yourself by grabbing hold of the bulkhead or somewhere on deck, so that when the ship gets hit, you take no damage. Otherwise, it's falling damage, and you just, there you go. So you take your bludgeoning damage. And then the pilot has to make a saving throw against that damage as well, or lose concentration on the helm again. So they have to then spend a bonus action or an action refocusing to take command of the helm again. So if you're using a bludgeoning ram, like a hammerhead ship or a skip, if you ram a ship, then you get to, as a free action, you automatically scuttle a ship during a ram attack. And a ram attack requires you to move first, and then at the end of it's a charge attack. It's ram. So you charge, you hit, you close distance to the ship, and then you make your attack roll. If you success, you deal ram damage, which is typically double the amount of melee damage that the ship would normally do. And you trigger the scuttle effect. So there you go. Let's see. And so here's how the last breath actually, the statistics for the last breath. Currently 60, actually it's not 60 plus pilots, 20 plus pilots, so let's make that fix. This is why we do these things. We go over the document over and over again, and I'm always reading through it while I'm putting in illustrations as well, just to make sure that we don't have any flaws or edit, because we've been editing the hell out of this to make it fit into the page count. So that was a correction that I needed to make that I hadn't yet. So let's go ahead and implement that. Currently 20 plus the pilot. That was a minor change. I don't have to actually update the page. But this is done. Okay, so having said all that, so then you board the ship. It deals damage. So the opening side. So when you first encounter a ship, it's trying to escape. To prevent the ship from escaping, we set it up that the storm it's already described as going into a storm, but in SAIS, as written WotC, there are no effects that a storm has on ships. So we've implemented effects onto a ship like this. And then from there, when they enter the storm, it's distracting, so it's a disadvantage to your Constitution saving throws when you're making a save, to maintain concentration. And it has lightning that's dealing damage to the ship. So we set the ship up so that if it escapes the team initially when you first board the craft, and it escapes into the storm, it immediately gets hit for damage, and it gets scuttled. Not scuttle, but it gets the helm. The pilot loses focus, so it gets disrupted for the round. So that gives the team a chance to catch up to it during the round, to scuttle it, and then to further. You don't have to deal damage to scuttle it. If the helm is disabled and there's no one in command of the ship, you can just walk up and boop, and just tip it, and then it'll knock the ship around, and then they'll take the falling damage aboard. You want to damage the crew aboard, so that's a really great maneuver to use, which is why we recommend doing it here in the book. And then once you scuttled, you can then you're already adjacent to the ship, so while the ship is scuttled, it's easy for you to use your move action to then cross over to board the ship, and now you're engaged in normal 5-foot scale combat like you expect in D&D. And we provide you with tokens for the ships to be able to engage each other on a map. So once that happens, zooming back in here, and you do the fight stuff, Rudeledge will fight from the helm, Agony will join the crew. The crew will fire harpoon flingers and engage in melee combat to shred your team if they can. So you're either going to succeed or you're going to fail. If the characters succeed, Garganhael leads you below deck to show you the princess. if the character, but if you fail to take control of the ship, and you have to retreat, and the ship and the ghost ship escapes, it escapes with your princess. So the way that the adventure is written in the actual WotC published adventure, you have to defeat the ship, you have to defeat the crew, otherwise you can't get the princess. If they escape, the princess is gone, and that is a major flaw. One of the principles of adventure design that I talk about a lot is that you need to the fail condition of your adventure needs to automatically lead you further down the path of the adventure. Whether there's 2 or 3 different ways to get to the end point, whatever the characters do, if they fail at the mission but don't die, then they need to have another step that they can take towards concluding the adventure. So you have to build these different pathways that will lead you further down the plot points. Like if each plot point is a milestone, you need as many roads necessary to lead you to that next plot point. So like they talk about adventure design, having more than one tunnel or pathway that will lead you from room to room so that you don't bottleneck and cut off options for organic movement inside the dungeon space. Your plot, your storyline is also a dungeon. And each plot point is like its own room, and you need to have many paths or doors that lead into each plot point so that the team is never cut off from the adventure, and so the DM doesn't have to guess what to do next. If you build an adventure well, the content of the adventure should be able to provide you with suggestions and options that will allow the DM to take whatever happened right now and compare it to the options that are in the adventure to be able to assess which path are they actually closest on. So that's what they talk about, like on-ramping. Like instead of it being like railroading, it's like a highway, if you've heard this analogy, where there's many on and off ramps from the main highway that the adventure is traversing down. And anytime you take a side quest or the team goes off script, they're basically off-ramping from the highway to spend time in the local area of whatever it is that's amusing them. But when they finish that, there needs to be another, at least one, if not 2 or 3 different on-ramps to get you back onto the highway of the adventure, leading to the actual conclusion of the adventure. So, if the characters are defeated and if they fail to close distance with the last breath or are forced to retreat from the vessel, the ghost ship flees to the astral sea. Stranded without a ship of its own, Garganhale agrees to guide the characters to Doomspace. Damage taken from lightning strikes and the fumbled alchemist's fire attack tore a hole in the back of the stolen ship, leaving. And so let's go back and look at the ship again, where the brig is area 14, right? So area 14, the brig. The compartment is barred outside with a tiny shuttered window built into it. Characters who peer through the window or open the door see the following. An elf lies unconscious on a cot. She is clad in an ornate black dress, accented with silver and gold. A high collar rises behind her head. If he's present, Garganhale sails. Here's the weapon I promised you. I liberated her from the Star Moth we were destroyed. That was destroyed a few days ago. Now, the unconscious prisoner is the astral elf aristocrat named Zadali. Why is the prisoner unconscious and has 0 hit points? Because she was in the back of the boat when it got hit by lightning and a keg of gunpowder exploded literally right against where the brig is at. So she got shelled when that hit, dropping her to 0 hit points. There you go. So damage taken from the lightning strike and the fumbled alchemist fire attack tore a hole in the back of the stolen ship, leaving debris and bits of hull behind that swept up in the gravity field of the character's vessel. Among the flotsam drifts an unconscious elf that the crew can fish aboard without difficulty. The rest of the debris has no value. Proceed to the next section. Look, a princess. Look, a princess. Whether aboard the last breath or the vessel under the character's command, if the elf hasn't already been roused to consciousness, using magic, she awakens with 1 hit point after 1 hour. Once she is awake, read the following. The elf's, hold on. The elf's gold pupil twinkles as she speaks in a superior tone. I am Princess Zadali, daughter of the Emperor Zavan and heir to the throne of Xaryxis. And then you move on to the next section. And I am seeing that I need to actually lift this token up. So that's how you make sure that the princess stays aboard and has access to your team, so you can use her as a plot point moving forward. And Zlam. Perfect. Cool. Okay, so I mean that's how all that works. So, but we fill the adventure with these logic bridges to get you from using the adventure as written to using the adventure as we recommend. I'm pretty happy with how all these things fit on the page. Sorry, I'm still assessing how they sit. I feel like I can scoot root ledge over a bit. Yeah. So everyone centers properly. And then actual vampirates. Let's slide him over a touch. So that they're all... Let's do it like this. Yeah, this all fit pretty good. All right, cool. I'm going to be content with that. So let's stitch up this page. And Grave Alliance, Mutiny, blah, 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 blah. Last Breath. Here we go. So we need Ballista, Minganel, Harpoon Flingers. We need all the tokens. So let's go grab some tokens. Nope. We need ship tokens. So let's go to... we can go to vessels. Do I have vessels? No, we need to go to open, and we'll need to go to interior pages, production. This is going to be a big file, so it's going to be very, very slow to open. Tokens and ships and that'll do. It doesn't have an air bubble though. So let's reject that reality and replace it with our own. Open. First things first. Let's go grab the weapon systems that we need. No, we don't need the craft. We do need vessels. So open vessels. Let's see. let's see, we need a ballista, we need a mangonel. We do need harpoon flingers, but we're going to grab those from another. So the vessels token, we're going to go to the Tears of the Void. And then duplicate that group. That's not the way that we needed to do that. Space Galleon. Duplicate the group onto another document. Okay, now we can close that, no changes. Let's go back to we do need to go back to the craft so we can grab the new harpoon flinger token that we have. Jajaboop. And let's go to flinger. Duplicate that group. Locks. And then show me an air bubble. Somebody. Show me an air bubble. I don't have any air bubbles on these. More work I gotta do. Alright, let's close that out. Let's go find open. Let's see. No. Oh, that's where that went. Huh. File. Save as. I lost this. I was looking for this in my Ravnica stuff. Book creation. Tap and tap burn. 5 mana spell points. Martial powers. Playtest. Grid. There. Cool story, bro. Open. Ships. Production. I want to go to... Oh, that's what I want to do. Interior pages. Done. Equipment and ships. Ship grid. There we go. This will yield easier, better results for us. So let's go to there. I can duplicate that. App 2. There. We can close that out. Equals no. And now we should have all the assets that we need. There we go. Burp, burp, burp. What time is it? 11:07. Okay, so we got another 20 minutes, so we'll play a little bit more. Hopefully you guys think this is fun and it's providing some value for y'all. There's that, and then let's take the harpoon flinger. too big. Let's shrink it down. There. And don't need that. Let's see. Ballista, we can merge that down. Mangonel, we can merge that down. So let's grab both of those and bring them down here to the flinger. Smaller. Perfect. Ballista. Damn it. Come on, guy. There we go. Ballista, Mangonel, Harpoon Flingers. Here's your stats for them. Ballista, Mangonel, Harpoon Flingers. There's 1, 2, 3 Harpoon Flingers. There's 1 Mangonel. There's 2 Ballistas. There you go. Ballista, 2. Mangonel, 1. Harpoon Flingers, 3. That's the stats. So that's the block. This is the block that you need for the ship. You've got your size of the vessel, the material that's made out of, the armor class, the strength and constitution saving throws that are built for the ship. Damage reduction is 10. This armor class and this SC saving throw is dictated. If I did this right, and I'm going to have to spot check to make sure that I did it correctly. But if it is done correctly, here, let's go txt equals save. Let's take this to here. This would finish this page. Assuming I've got the stats here right. Probably don't. Let's see. Let's go check to see our stats. I think those are hangovers from the previous +4. Let's go find Agony. Nope. Okay, so let's go back to the document here. Materials light wood, which is going to have a low saving throw bonus. Dex is supposed to be, okay, so I have the stats wrong. It should be +1, and it needs to be, armor class is going back to where Agony, it's got nothing, and then the Vampirate, Mage, let's go find her again. +2. Dexterity, so it's going to be a dexterity 15 and a +1. Cool. This is why we do these spot checks. There. Fixed it. $13, 15, 16. Double check. Yeah, 15. There we go. Cool. Spot fixes. Check, 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 check. Good. Check. Check. So, as described up here, actually, as described here, the Vampirates. There's 11 second-rank Vampirates. So the 3 Vampirates crew each Ballista, 5 crew the Mangonel. If the crew of the Last Breath win initiative while Rudelage is in inertia, shocked, they attack the character's ship under command of Agony. While the ship recovers from she doesn't take inertia shock. She takes recovers from the ship damage. If the crew of the Last Breath win initiative while Rootledge recovers from the ship damage damage taken for from damage the ship recovers from lightning strike, comma, I probably don't need to redo this, but let's double check to see where we're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is where 9 is at. The under there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Damn it, why am I having a hard time? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Interesting. I actually need that 9th. I did not anticipate that. Wow, Rootledge. If the crew of the Last Breath win initiative while Rootledge is, there it is still recovering from the lightning strike, One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need to be here. 9. They attack the characters under command is recovering from the lightning strike. They attack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They attack the character ship. From the lightning strike, they attack. If the crew of the Last Breath win initiative while Rootledge is recovering from the lightning strike, win initiative, comma, while Rootledge is recovering from the lightning strike, they attack the, there it is, the character's ship under the command of Agony. Perfect. Found it. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Cool. All right, that worked. Whew. This is why we get paid the big bucks, folks. This is lining up with the letter T. So I might have to scoot this guy over a bit. All right, let's see how that works. Rootledge, while Rootledge is... It'll probably be fine, but I should probably redo the page anyway. So let's redo the page anyway. Escape. This is page 98 again. So file, export, PDF, interior pages, locks, page 98, options, current page only, document only, no comments or markup, publish, yes. Pop open. Looks good. Undo. Save. Come back. Open. Interior pages. Locks. 98. Page. Select all. Copy. Open. Conceal, place. Hey, look at that. It works out perfectly. That actually looks better than before. Ah, we're so blessed. Thank you. Thank you, Muse, for all the guidance. I really appreciate you. I can actually afford to scoot him over a touch. Yeah, nice. Cool. All right, we're good with that. There, so we can lock that page down. And now we have this page, and we've already resolved all that. Now we're on to this page. Flame. Hold on. Ship of the Dead, parlaying with Garganhail. Fuck. Garganhail's Fleet, don't need it. Last Breath. Bump, 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 bump. Don't need it. Here. Mutiny, conducting the encounter, parlaying with Garganhail. We actually need... Fuck. We need to structure this so that we have token space for Garganhail. I didn't do that. So we need to find parlaying with Garganhail. This is where that would belong. Is this the right place for that? Let's go back to our document and see our progression. Chaos and Doom Space. Trust issues. Zadali into the Astral Sea. If the characters need to return to Tupela's Tower to perform repairs, they can do so. Otherwise, the Astral Sea is within 5 million miles of Garganhail's destroyed fleet, taking an hour to leave the system. Once the characters enter the Astral Sea, roll the number of days the Journey of Doom Space requires. The description Commodore Crux has, the familiarity gained by chatting with Topela. Grimzod navigating in Doom Space reduces the journey to 7 days. So we have that. So we need to come up here. So we have all the details for Last Breath. We have the storm, conducting the encounter. We need to have Garganhail's token placed in this space. And it's going to take 8. It's going to take 8 lines to do it. See, Grimzod, Garganhail has been oh boy. Let's go down to here. This is our line. Yeah, right here is our line. Two. Wow, that lines up perfectly. There's been 2. The wild space systems. The characters seek and may be convinced to help. Grimzod has been seen Doom Space casually during a previous visit. He has seen Doom Space. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I need to have space down to here. This is actually going to work out better. There we go. Okay, that created the space that we needed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can set Garganhail into this space here, but we now need to clean 1, 2, 3 lines of text from the bottom of the dock. So where can we do that? How can we trim? Garganhail casts an amplified invisibility spell on the ship, giving advantage on checks made to stalk the Last Breath. Worry station. If successful, the ship is D4 times 100 miles ahead. If the check fails, a flash of lightning silhouettes the ship. Crap. All right, we're out of time. I expected just to be doing artwork, but apparently I need to do some spot edits, which is something that happens. So I do not lament that occurring at all. But I do need to make sure I get all this crap back on plate. So, but I'm out of time. So I'm going to have to cut here. The second one was destroyed earlier. Mutiny, conducting the encounter. 12. The second wind was destroyed earlier in the adventure. The characters can replace skip past shipless pursuit in locks and proceed to if second wind was destroyed earlier in the adventure, the characters can replace the ship with the salvaged space galleon detailed above and skip. And skip. And skip past shipless pursuit in locks and proceed to the storm below with the following changes. To aboard the second wind. Damn it. All right, I'm gonna have to suss this out, but I'm out of time. I've got some brunch to go do, so I'm going to make a recording this afternoon and have that posted tomorrow morning for folks. We're going to be back doing probably more of this on Monday, maybe some other art. We'll see where we go, but we got some work to do still, obviously. Luckily, we're not published yet, so we can afford the time. So I'm here 6 days a week. I publish once a week on Sunday. If you think this stuff is interesting, want to see how this progresses, or just catch more insights about it, or you want to find out more about what we got going on, be welcome to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Always be welcome to drop comments down below. Or you can catch me on the Discord. There's a link to my Patreon, which you can access the Discord link in the About page of my Patreon. I'll see you guys on the other side. Thanks a lot for being here. Later.